that I have told you yesterday also, that if we are having a language and in our language there are different alphabets. Suppose in our language we are having this alphabet where we are just a second. Okay. Okay. So if sigma is equal to a comma b, what does that mean? Sigma is the alphabet and a and b are the symbols or symbols in the alphabets A and B. So we can form any type of string with this combination A and B. So it can be A only, it can be B only, or A B, then A B B. So these type of strings we can generate from the alphabets. So this is the string. Okay. So now we'll discuss about the word. Now we'll come to the language. Language is the set of all strings of terminal symbols derived from the alphabet. Empty string, null string we have already discussed. Now we'll come to the word. What a word is. Words are string belonging to some language. Actually, words and string are basically same type of thing, but the difference between them is that the words are belonging to some language only, and strings are the general form. Okay, suppose A B B B B. This is the string, or this is also can be word if it satisfies its language condition. Okay, so what's the language? So in this example we can see if sigma is equal to a, then a language L can be defined as L is equal to a raised to power n. So what does that mean, a raised to power n? So it means that we can generate any type of combination, and this is the rule of language. Like we can have any alphabet or any words who will satisfy this rule. And what's the rule? L is equal to a to the power n, and the value of n is equal to 1, 2, 3 up to infinity. So L, what can be the value of L? It can be, there can be words like a, double a, triple a, 4 times a, and this type of words. So these are the words. Okay, but all the words are string, but all the words are not string. So I will write down a string over there also. A B A. So this is a string, but this is not a word for this language because it doesn't satisfy the condition of the language. So this is a string but not word, and these all are the words but they are also string. So that's the thing we were explaining. Just So this is the thing that we were explaining to you. All the words are string, but not all strings are words, just because the words are related to the language. So now we'll come to the other things, valid oblique invalid alphabets. So what are the valid alphabets and what are the invalid alphabets? We'll take an example for this. So when we are just defining an alphabet, it may contain some letters or it also contains the symbols. So we'll take an example of alphabet. First one is the sigma 1, and in this alphabet we are having uh, the letters like capital B, small a, capital B, then B, A, B, and then D. So these are the letters that we are having. These are the letters that we are having in this alphabet. Okay. And now we'll take the another alphabet. So this one is the another alphabet, sigma 2, and in this we are having different type of letter. You can compare the letters or the symbols in different groups. Like sigma 1 is having different type of letter and sigma 2 is having different type of letters. Okay, and a string called B A B A B B, capital B. Just hold down. Right now it may be possible that you are not getting what I'm saying to you. It will, I will explain it with an example. Just hold down a bit. Okay, so from here you can see, so this B, just listen to me very carefully because this is very important. If you will not just concentrate over here in the lecture, it will be difficult for you to understand this thing. This BAB, so this is a string actually. So how we can tokenize in this string into different formats? Like this can be like BA. We can split this string into these forms. But these two formats and these two possibilities of different alphabets, this shows that the second group, that in which we are having B, AB, AB, B. Okay. So what we can form, like if we go to the previous slide, here you can see sigma 1 is equal to B, A, B, B, A, B, B, D. Okay. So from here, just be very careful. I will explain to you. So this is the string. This string cannot be formed by using any of the string. You can see B, A, B, B, A, B. So in this, if we'll compare with sigma 1 only, sigma 1 is having B. So now we got the B, okay? We got B from here. And now we are having AB, A, B, A, B, A and small b. No, we don't have A and small b over here. Do we have? No, we don't have. So we can't make this string from this language, okay? So now we'll come to the from this alphabet. Now we'll come to second alphabet. Can we make this string from these alphabets? Okay, let me try. Capital B, yes, we are having capital B. From here we can take capital B. Then AB, AB, then again AB, yes, we are having B, AB, but before that small b is there. AB, AB, no, we cannot take this also. Or B, after B we are having small a, yes, we can form this thing, but after this small BAB is there, small BAB is also there, yes, BAB is there, and capital B is there, yes, we can form this. Okay, so but this string is formed by using second alphabet only. We can't form this string by using the first alphabet. Let me just erase all these things so that it will be visible to you. Now what it says, so these are the two different ways we can represent this string as, which shows that the second group cannot be identified as a string. So that group, we'll say this group cannot be identified, that group as a string defined over sigma 2. We have divided this string into two parts, but the first part was identified by this group, but second part was not identified. You can see from here also, we have identified in the previous lecture this part we have identified that it can be generated from this thing, but there is a possibility that this string we can also divide the string into this form also, but this string we cannot form, this alphabet we cannot form by using this alphabet. You have any doubt? You can ask me in between the lecture, because this is little difficult. So if you will just let it go, it will be difficulty for you. You can ask me in between if you are having any doubt. Anyone? Anyone? If you don't have any doubt, I'll just go forward. Okay then. So now what does that mean? We are talking about valid and invalid list, invalid alphabets. These alphabets, by using this alphabet, we can not fully tokenize the string. So what does that mean? Is this a valid or invalid alphabet? This is a invalid alphabet because we cannot form second type of string by using this alphabet. Okay. Now we'll discuss about the rules of valid and invalid alphabets. If you will just look at the string or look at the alphabets in the previous slide, here we can see that, okay, firstly we'll discuss about the rule. What the rule says, the first symbol B is defined as a letter belonging to sigma. Okay. While for the second letter of lexical analyzer, just leave the term lexical analyzer now because it is somehow related to compiler. We'll discuss this later on. While for the second letter, the lexical analyzer would not be able to identify. So while defining a alphabet, it should be kept in mind that ambiguity should not be created. What does that mean now? It simply means that we cannot, if a string is, if a alphabet is having suppose 4 symbols, in this alphabet we are having 4 symbols, first, second, third and fourth. We are having 4 symbols, but there is a simple rule to just remove the ambiguity, that we should not start any symbol with the existing symbol of the alphabet. We should not start, or there should not be a prefix. Okay, prefix means it is at the starting of the symbol. Here we can see in this alphabet 2 symbols, B, capital B, and capital B and A. These 2 symbols are just violating this condition in which we says that no other symbol should start with the existing symbol of the alphabet. So this symbol capital B and A is started with capital B, and capital B is also the existing symbol of the alphabet. Okay, Rahil Chauhan, yes, you can ask me. Yes, Rahil, you are raising your hand. Rahil.
सॉरी सर, चैट पे क्लिक कर रहा था, वो हैंड पे क्लिक हो गया.
ओके ओके ओके. दीपक मनसोत्रा, आप भी ऐसे ही कर रहे थे बेटा? दीपक, okay, I think you don't want to ask anything. I think this thing is clear to you all guys, that no other symbol should start with the existing symbol of the alphabet. So this alphabet is actually violating the condition. So this is an invalid alphabet. So this is the condition that I was talking about. While defining an alphabet of letters consisting of more than one symbols, the same thing that I have explained to you, if we are having more than one symbol, no letter should be started with the letter of the same alphabet. Okay, the same thing that I was telling you. No other letter or no other symbol should start with the existing letter or symbol of the alphabet. So it should not be prefix of other. It should not be the prefix of other. However, a letter can be ended in the letter of same alphabet. So one letter can be suffix of other. So in general terms, in just very simple language, we will say this thing, that one letter of an alphabet can be the suffix of any other letter in the same alphabet, but one letter of the alphabet cannot be the prefix of other letters or the symbol. I think this thing is very much clear to you guys. So this is the condition of a valid alphabet. If this condition is not satisfied, it means that the alphabet is invalid. Okay. So in this condition, we are having 2 types of alphabets. Sigma 1 is the first type of alphabet. You can see in Sigma 1, this is not violating the condition of prefix or suffix, because there is not any letter that is starting from the existing letter. But if you'll see Sigma 2, we are having a letter that is capital B and A that is starting with capital B, but capital B is also an existing letter of the alphabet. Okay, so this condition is right now violating the this alphabet is violating the condition of valid alphabet. So it means that sigma 1 is a valid alphabet, but sigma 2 is an invalid alphabet. So that is the conclusion of all this discussion. Now I'll come forward. We'll go to the next slide. Okay. The next thing is the length of string. Suppose we are having a string. Again, in an example, you can see in an example, this thing is that sigma is equal to a and b, and a and b are the two letters in the alphabet, and we can form any type of string by using any combination like a b a b a or a b. So any type of combination. So what does the length of a string means? It means that how many numbers of letters are there in the string. So if we will compare this string, how many letters are there? A, B, A, B, A. So there are 5 letters. So what does that mean? The length of this string is 5. And how to denote the length of the string? We'll denote the length of the string by using this term. Okay. So you have to remember this notation. Again, this is the example. Sigma is equal to, there are 4 digits are there in this alphabet. And we are having an example of string. And the tokenization of this string, we can tokenize in different forms. So there are about how many letters are there? We don't have to count all the letters. Just keep this in mind. We have to count the letters as depending upon the letters in the alphabet. Suppose we should not count it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is not the case. We should not count this way. We have to look at the alphabet. And now we have to tokenize the string. Okay. So B here, AB, yes, from here we can take, then BAB, yes, this is the another alphabet, oh sorry, letter, and then B again, another one, and then D. So this way we can divide the things so that it should satisfy the alphabets. So how many letters are there now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 letters. So it means that the length of the string is 5. Okay, we have explained about the length of the string. Now we'll explain the reverse of a string. As its name implies that the reverse of a string is, we just have to reverse the order of the string. Suppose we are having a string, the example is also given, S is equal to A, B, C. It's a string that is defined over sigma is equal to A, B, C. We are having an alphabet sigma and it's having 3 letters or symbols A, B, and C. Then what will be the reverse of that string? What does that mean? We have to just write down the order of the string in a reverse fashion. So we are having the string A, B, C. So the reverse of that string will be C, B, and A. And how to represent the reverse of string? We can represent this in 2 ways. So this is the first way we can represent is reverse, REV, and in the bracket we can write S, and S to the power R is equal to CBA, and this is the second way to represent the reverse, and this is the first way. Okay. So this is the reverse of string. In the example also you can see, sorry. You have to keep this in mind whenever you are doing the reverse of a string, or whenever you are just finding out the length of the string. You have to just keep this in mind. Firstly, you have to follow the alphabets. Then you have to tokenizing the things. After tokenizing the thing, then you have to write down the reverse and the length of the string. Okay, suppose we'll give an example of this. So after tokenizing the thing, we are having a string B, A, B, then B, A, B, and then again capital B, and then D. Now what we have to do, we just have to write this in the reverse order. Okay, so you just have to keep this in mind whenever we are writing it. Okay, don't look at this right now, just write down in reverse order. So somebody will do mistake whenever they will write down in the reverse order. They can write this way: D, then capital B, then B, A, B, then capital B, then A, then capital B. Okay, you can write down, some students will write down in this way also, but you don't have to write down in this way. You just have to reverse the order. Okay, you just have to reverse the order. Like if you will compare this string with this one is the correct reverse order and this one is the wrong one. If you will see, where is the difference? The difference is at this location where you have written AB, but you have written BA. Some students will do mistake in this way, but you don't have to do this thing. You don't have to reverse the letter individually. You just have to reverse the order of the string. Like firstly, you have to divide the string into the tokens as per the alphabets. Then you have to reverse the tokens like this way. D, simple D, you have to write down D first. Like whatever there is in the brackets, you have to write down directly this D, then B, then directly bracket what's there in the bracket, BAB. You don't have to write this in order, in reverse order, BAB. Otherwise in this case it will be the same, but you don't have to write in this way. You just have to keep this and place it over here, and this way also you have to take this and directly place it over here, and then B also. Okay, I think it's very much clear to you guys. That's the reverse of string. Just a second. Next one is the language using finite automata, etc. So we'll come to the first type of language, that is a descriptive language. So the language is defined describing the conditions imposed on its words. Okay, so we'll give an example. After the example only this thing will be clear to you. So this is the descriptive language. And what's there in descriptive language? Like we are having a language L of strings of odd length defined over sigma is equal to A. It can be written as, okay, just read out the sentence very carefully, but it says the language L of strings of odd length. Okay, so what's the thing, what's the difference between this language and the language that we have described earlier? In this language we are defining the condition in a description. We are writing down the condition or the rules of the language in a description. Like what is the rule of this language? That the length of string should be odd. So this is the condition of the language. And what is the alphabet? Alphabet is having only one letter A. So how what are the possibilities of the strings that we can have in this type of language? Any odd number of digits, like only one digit is there in the alphabet. So A, 3 times A, then 5 times A, then 7 times A, any odd number of digits. Okay. So this is the condition of this language, and we will explain this condition like this way. Then it means that it is a descriptive language. We are just writing down the condition. And second example is the language L of strings that does not start with A, defined over sigma is equal to A, B, and C. Now A, B, and C, these three are the digits or letters in the alphabet. So what will be the possibility of the language? What will be the string? What are the words? We'll say that words only, because there is a difference between words and string. So what will be the words of this language? Because here is a condition that the string does not start with A, and there are three letters A, B, and C. So we should not start our letter with A. So we can start with B and C. After starting B and C, we can write down any number of times A, but we should follow the first condition only. So this is again a different way to represent the language. This is the descriptive language. Okay. Let me check if we have any query or doubt in the chat box, because we are left with only 5 minutes. Same case, same case, same case. We got only the roll numbers in the chat box, I guess. Only the roll numbers are there. If you have any question, you can write down here. Okay, then in that case, we'll. I can unmute you. If you have any question, you can ask me. Or should I proceed? Okay, we'll explain another type of another example now. So the language, the another example is the language equal. This is the name of the example, then the name of the language only. Of string with number of A's equal to the number of B's defined over sigma equal to A and B. So what does that mean? That every word of this language is having the condition that there should be equal number of A's and B. It can be AB, 1A and 1B, then 2A and 2B, and 10A and 10B, and there can be different combination also. But the condition is only that the number of A's should be equal to number of B's. They are not asking about the location of A and B. We can start either with A or we can start either with B. But the only condition is that the number of A's and number of B's should be equal. Okay. And next example is the language even of strings. What does that mean? Even number, like even number of A's and even number of B's, like 2A and 2B, and there can be different combination, like we can start with B or we can start with A also. AB is the example, AABB is the example, BBAA is the example, BABA is the example, and BAAB is also the example. So there are different examples. So even language means over a alphabet defined over like sigma equal to A and B, there should be even number of A and even number of B. Another type of example language is integer. So what does that mean? Like it starts from the number of letters or the number of symbols. The type of letter, sorry, the type of letter will be the integer. So we can start with that. You already know about the integer. So the language even means we are having different numbers. from -1 to 9, it can be written as even. Like it can be any number from -infinity to +infinity, but the number should be even. Okay. Another example, a to the power n and b to the power n. This is the condition, and we can put the value of n from 1 to infinity, like any number of a and any number of b. These are again different types of examples of defining a language. Double square is also there, a to the power n to the power 2. Square is there, a to the power to the n. Prime number language is there, we can define this way. Palindrome is also another type of language. Okay, so this is all about today's session. Now I am unmuting you one by one so that I can discuss with you all if you are having any doubt. Hanji, Praveen Kumar. Praveen Kumar, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
समझ आया बेटा कैसा था लेक्चर? अभी कुछ आ रहा है समझ में?
Yes, sir. जी
ठीक
सर.
ठीक लग रहा है? कुछ मुश्किल लगे तो आप बता सकते हैं मुझे. मेरा आपसे इंटरेक्शन करने का लास्ट के 1 मिनट 2 मिनट में सिर्फ यही रीजन है कि मैं आपसे पूछ सकूं कि आप कहाँ तक समझ पा रहे हैं और कहाँ वी हैव टू चेंज दैट थिंग्स. ओके, तो अभी ठीक लग रहा है सभी? ठीक है.
Okay.
ओके 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 डियर. एनीबडी एल्स वॉलंटियरली कोई भी आ सकता है if he has to ask anything. There is no chat in the chat box. Okay. Okay, Richa Bharti, I am unmuting you. Richa. हाँ जी रिचा भारती. रिचा भारती ने फोन क्लास शुरू करके फोन साइड में तो नहीं रख दिया? रिचा भारती